I'm over 50 years old and I started over. And I know you can too. And I know you can be successful. And you don't need somebody from corporate America putting you down every day. Imagine walking into work, sitting at your desk, opening your computer, 16 unread emails. Typical day. Email number 1 to employees from the manager. Dated today. Regarding urgent. Read ASAP. Dear employees, I'm proud to manage an event sponsored by our employer company. It's going to be a virtual night of fun and fabulous networking with guests. Please use this as a template to invite as many guests as you can that specialize in whatever your specialty is. We want to make sure this night will be a success. We expect you to be on time to start the virtual event at precisely 6:30 p.m. And we expect that each and every one of you signs up at least one guest. I'll be sending further, more detailed instructions through inner office for you and your guests. Please respond by specified date with the number of guests you are signing up so we can assure everyone has the proper materials before them when the meeting starts. Let's get ready for another terrific event. After reading that email, now you have more questions than more answers. Right away, you notice this is urgent to your manager. But it's a virtual event at 6:30. You don't leave work until after 6, and you barely make it home by then because of your commute. And the date it's on, you actually have plans with your family. Oh dear. And you're expected to sign up a guest. What does that mean? What kind of guest? It's very unclear. So you reach out to your manager. Hi, manager. Yes, I'm down here in marketing. I have a question. I see the email that you sent out. Oh, I'm sorry. Not a good time. Okay. Oh, you thought you made it very clear? Yes. Okay. I'm so sorry to bother you. Okay, thank you. And they are unwilling to answer any questions, and they tell you that they are so busy they can't talk to you. Attached to the email, which you missed because they didn't send it with the email. She said she would send it when you called. You get a meeting agenda. And again, it specifies that it's a 6:30 at night virtual meeting. And the details include introductions. The manager will start the introductions. Be on time. Make sure your audio and video are working prior to the meeting so we are not delayed in starting. Next detail is about the guests. Oh, okay. Introduction to guests and which companies they are from. Networking in a few minutes for exchanging information with team. Wait a minute. What? Introductions to guests, networking in a few minutes for exchanging information. Perhaps you work in a real estate company. Perhaps you work in sales. Perhaps you work in a business where you network, and the more people that you network, the more money you make in commission. Whatever the case may be, this is not good news at all. They want you to introduce your network of people to the rest of the team and exchange information with them. How does this make any sense, you wonder? If I work hard to network and I get the people coming to the business in the first place, why would I want to share that with other people so they can go ahead and take my ideas and take the people away from me that I work with? How does that make any sense? Well, you go on down the meeting agenda. The third agenda detail is training. A representative from a vendor will talk about new products coming in 2026. Okay, well, that's good, but that's the whole purpose of your job, is to perhaps talk to your guests in your network about the new products coming in 2026. If they're taking that part away from you and they're having somebody else do it, then you keep going. Then it says fun. We will all enjoy carving a pumpkin and showing off our work to each other and our guests. Okay, that's where you got me. You want me to carve a pumpkin at 6:30 at night after I've worked all day. I don't get out until after 6. I have a commute to go home, and now you expect me to carve a pumpkin. I'm at work Monday through Friday, and then it gets worse. A couple days later, you receive a new email. Oh, the owner sent me an email. To employees from owner. Dated today regarding urgent. Read ASAP! Exclamation point. The email begins, Dear employees, I'm proud that your manager is hosting an event that my company is sponsoring. The main purpose of this event is to have fun while training as well as networking with guests. We want to make sure this night will be a success. As your manager said in the prior email, we expect you to be on time to start the virtual event at precisely 6:30 p.m. And we expect that each and every one of you signs up at least one guest. You'll be receiving detailed instructions through inner office for you and your guests. Manager said they will be inner office mail tomorrow. Watch out for them. Don't delay in responding to manager with the number of guests you are signing up. These are my direct orders, employees. Don't disappoint. Well, now you have even more questions than answers. First of all, this came as a direct order from the owner of the company who signs your paychecks. He's proud of the manager for hosting such an event. Nobody asked, nobody sent out a survey asking the employees if 6:30 could work for them. I mean, maybe your coworker has a baby, maybe you have a baby. Everybody has family life after work. But yet, this is really the owner not respecting personal boundaries. In addition, none of the guests that you know can attend. They all have very busy lives, from Wall Street employees to realtors to Fortune 500 company CEOs. There's no way they could attend such an event, and why would they want to? You find it totally ridiculous. Attached to that email was a virtual event training and fun sign-up sheet. And the owner expects you to put your name and at least one guest on here. A few days later. Oh dear, another email from manager. To employees from manager. Regarding, I am so disappointed. Dear employees, I put a lot of time and energy into hosting an event that your employer is sponsoring. The main purpose of this event is to have fun while training, as well as networking with guests. We are trying to make sure this night will be a success. But as I sit here today, days after sending my initial email, as well as the owner himself setting forth expectations about this event, you have all disappointed me greatly. I expected more from you. Sadly, no one has signed up one guest. I need to know how many guests will be attending because I have special inner office packets going out to each and every one of you. Sign up guests now before it's too late. I won't have time to get the packets out to you if you sign up your guests after specified date. I sent each and every one of you a packet, which will be arriving sometime this week. You all received an email from the owner stating these were his direct orders, but you refused to do as you were asked. Very disappointing. I expect to hear from each and every one of you by the end of the day today. Today! Now, get on it. You look around at the paperwork filling up in your tray, and you see a stack like this, waiting for your signature, your approval, waiting for you to enter it into the computer, waiting for whatever it is that you do at your desk job. You're dismayed. You're heartbroken. You work hard. You work way too hard for this company, and they clearly, right up to the owner, do not appreciate you. They do not respect your time outside of the office. They do not respect what you do on a daily basis. They have no clue what you do, obviously, by the tone and the meanness coming from these emails. I'm so disappointed. Does that sound like a morale booster to you? Pretty soon you hear from other employees how ludicrous this is. Nobody has time for this. People have commitments after work. They can't be going home right after work and expected to jump back on the computer to have some fun carving pumpkins. Now, I don't know about you, but I reserve that kind of activity for my family and usually around Halloween. I don't really want to spend my evening carving a pumpkin with my coworkers after I just worked with them all day long. I don't want to spend my evening doing that when I have dinner to make for my family, or dinner to enjoy with my family. Maybe somebody else is cooking, or maybe I have a commitment after work. Maybe I have to be somewhere. Maybe I'm the caretaker of my mom. Maybe whatever. The list goes on and on. If you've ever worked for a corporation, you know exactly what I'm talking about, unless you have really good ownership, leadership, and managerialship above you. Now, obviously, I'm just doing a skit here. This is just for fun. However, this isn't far from the truth. When I worked in corporate America, I actually got emails just like that. One thing that was so disheartening about that is the language. They don't use morale-boosting language, but then cry about it later when everyone has low morale. When employees, good employees, start leaving the company, and then they sit back in their little managerial meetings and they're like, what happened? Why did Susie leave? I don't understand. She was one of the best performers here. She was one of our top employees. Why would she leave? Right. Well, if you are a manager and you're watching this, this is a reason why. This is not the only reason why, but this could be contributing to the loss of some good employees, because nobody above anymore seems to watch their language. Nobody above anymore seems to care about the employee or how the employee feels. They don't have boundaries when it comes to work and life balance. And all you hear about today is work and life balance. But yet when I was in corporate America, there was no such thing. It didn't exist. We actually had a hotline we could call when we were stressed out, if we were overwhelmed, if our mental health was suffering, if we felt sad. But there was nothing about getting a break, or there was nothing about, we appreciate you so much, we wouldn't ask of you to stay later, especially for something like this, to carve a pumpkin. This is just one example of how bad managers break a business. If you are the owner of a company and your managers have no interpersonal skills when it comes to employees, they have no business being a manager, period. I worked with many, many levels of management because my company that I worked for was top heavy in managers. I had, let me count them here. I had a direct manager. I had a district manager. That manager had a manager. Then that manager had 2 managers. Then I had a regional manager. Then there were about 5 managers above him, and it went on and on and on. I was alone at the bottom. I was just trying to get through my workday. I wanted to be proud of my accomplishments. The company never showed us gratitude. The company never showed us praise, but their slogan was, "We have great people working here." That was literally their slogan. Yet the people working there never felt it. This is how they spoke to us. "We are disappointed." That is a terrible way to talk to somebody who gives the majority of their life to you to make your company better, to make your company more successful. This example may not be realistic to your company. Perhaps you don't have after work activities such as this one. However, what about meetings? Do you have meeting times? Do you have regular set meetings? People can become burnt out at their jobs simply because you have too many meetings. We had a monthly meeting that was hosted by a top level manager. Her language was very similar. "Don't be late." And she would start these meetings at 8:30 in the morning. And I said to her one day, "Well, our workday doesn't start until 9. Is there a way that you can postpone it until 9, or maybe till 12 when everybody's on lunch, or maybe till 5 when most people are getting off? Because I have 2 kids, I have to get on a bus." And her response was always, "No, then get a babysitter. You need a commitment to this job if you want to keep yours." And I'm not exaggerating. That's exactly how she spoke to me. Nobody seemed to care. The owner did not care. It was all about, you love the company, you bust your butt for the company, you commit to the company, or out. And they didn't care how much experience you had, how worthy you were, what a good employee you were, how many days, weeks, months, years you worked for the company. My last year there, they literally let go a staggering number of old timers who had been there for more than 20, 30 years. There were people they let go that had been there for 50 years. If you find yourself in a place where you're working for a company like this, I don't see how it will ever get better until they hire different managers. People with this persona higher up in a company at this managerial level are narcissistic. They're not going to change, and you cannot challenge them. Believe me, I tried. If anybody knows about challenging managers in a company, it's me. I went to bat. I didn't just go to bat for myself. I went to bat for every employee at this company. And let me tell you something. They don't care. I was as good as trash to them. It didn't matter how much I brought into the company. It didn't matter that I was an excellent employee, that I was never out sick. The only time I was out sick was when I had COVID. Other than that, I slaved for this company. And nothing I did mattered. You're worth more than to be disrespected and told they're disappointed in you. That's abusive. If you are working for a company like that, and if you're a manager watching this, let me tell you something. You don't deserve good employees. The good employees don't deserve to be treated like that or talked to like that. And if you're the owner of a company and you're allowing your managers to talk to employees like that, shame on you. And you know what? Pride comes before the fall, and your business is going to fall hard. Without good employees to back you up, your business is going to fail. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week, it may not be next month, but you will fail, because the backbone of every good company are good employees. And I'm tired of seeing good employees treated with this lack of respect, lack of care. You should be praising your employees. The manager that I'm speaking of from personal experience, she was fired from her prior place of employment when they hired her. She was a terrible employee, but yet my company hired her anyway. And I saw countless top employees leave the company. This company had been voted 5 years in a row the top place to work. Once they hired her, they never got that recognition again. That speaks volumes. Yet the owner turned his head and let her run rampant with her terrible abuse of power and the way she treated people at this company. And she's still treating people like this at this company. And nobody seems to care. But I care. So if you're an employee watching this, know that I care. And my best advice to you is to get your eggs in a row. Get them all in a row. Figure out, sit down with your loved ones, your family, your spouse, your partner, whatever it may be, or maybe you're alone. Just sit down and look at the overall big picture of your budget. What are your monthly expenses? How much money do you need to live to pay those bills? Maybe there are bills that you can cut off, like cable. Maybe there are other expenses you can cut down. Look at that. And I'm not kidding here. This is exactly what I did in order to leave my job. And I made good money. But I would not put up with that kind of disrespect anymore. If you can, go back to school. I know my town has started implementing short courses for people. We actually have short courses available to anyone for a few $100s. You can go back to become a paramedic. There are a lot of jobs that require just a certificate, not even full degrees from college, that you can do. Check with your state licensing board to see what you need for the proper license. No, of course, it wouldn't be realistic to say, become a plumber out of the blue, because you need certain hours of apprenticeship. You need certain hours for certification. I'm not talking about jobs like that. I'm talking about quick, CNA, medical assistant. I know we have a nursing home down here that hires people that aren't even trained. They'll train you on the job. And I'm saying this so you can get out and have a better life. I have not missed my job one day. I've been gone there now since 2024, and I do not miss it in the least. I have never been happier without that place. It burnt me out. It stressed me out. I actually lost my vision. I was so stressed out. I was having migraines to the point where I lost my vision. My first video on YouTube talks about that. I just want you to know that other people do care. Your company may not care about you, but there are people in this world who do care about you. And I don't want to see anybody fail and flop miserably at a job where they're not well loved. Look into it. Talk to your folks. Talk to your people. Talk to your loved ones. And say, hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Do I have your support? And then go for it. I know it's a scary time when groceries are at an all-time high. People can't afford bills and pay their rent. I understand that. I don't want to go work at McDonald's or a coffee shop. So I understand. Trust me, I do. 2 years before I left my job, I went back to college. I had that planned in the works, and I suggest you do the same right now. Start today. If you're being abused at work, and if you have managers over you who are just plain mean and ugly, then you start refreshing your life plan today. It is scary. I know the fear. However, if I can do it, anybody can. Really. I'm with all from the bottom of my heart. If I can do this, so can you. I'm over 50 years old and I started over. So I just want everybody to be successful. Please leave a comment below if you've ever worked in corporate America and had to get out of there because it was ruining your life, your health, your self-respect. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this video.